Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to talk about the distribution band. Our distribution band in Tableau is an invaluable tool for data visualization, providing the data analyst and visualization creators with a means to effectively convey the distribution of data points within their datasets. This feature proves particularly beneficial when the objective is to bring the attention to the extent and density of data, as well as to pinpoint the potential outliers. So let's dig into theory and practical utility of distribution bands. At its core, a distribution band serves to accentuate the distribution of our data points in your visualization. Its primary function is to illustrate how data is spread across the dataset, which makes it more accessible for your audience to comprehend the patterns and variations present. Furthermore, distribution bands play a crucial role in visualizing the data density, especially in the datasets teaming up with multiple data points. These bands provide a visual representation of the data clusters, allowing viewers to readily identify the regions where data is more densely concentrated. Notably, these distribution bands are also adept at identifying potential outliers within your data. Outliers are those data points that mark deviate from the rest of the dataset. By incorporating the distribution bands, these outliers can become more conspicuous, aiding in data quality assessment and anomaly detection. Tableau's exceptional customization capabilities extend seamless to distribution bands. You are afforded the freedom to fine-tune the appearance of these bands, encompassing the style, color, and transparency and labels. This ensures that they harmonize perfectly with the visual aesthetics and also requisite of your data visualization. The practical utility of the distribution bands is significant, often serving as an ally in the data analysis. They enable the users to swiftly discern the data clusters, trends, and variations, fostering the deeper insights and facilitating well-informed decision making. Distribution bands find application across diverse industries. In healthcare, they can be employed to visualize the distribution of patient data, such as blood pressure ranges. In the financial sector, these bands can assist in the analysis of stock price distribution. In demographics, they can prove useful for highlighting the population distribution across different regions. The incorporation of distribution band into your Tableau visualization bestows a potential tool for communicating the data distribution effectively. Whether you are engaged in the scrutiny of health metrics, the assessment of financial data, or the examination of dataset with the objectives of comprehending the data density and identifying the outliers. Distribution bands offer a lucid and insightful representation of the data patterns, significantly augmenting the quality and depth of your data analysis. Now, let's go to the Tableau screen and see how we can create these distribution bands over there. So, we are in our Tableau screen, and if we are talking about the distribution bands, we can find the distribution band option from over here in the custom option. Now we have already talked about the reference bands and the reference lines. This distribution band is also similar, but there is some different kind of approach when we are working with this distribution band. It entirely depends upon you whether you want to work with the reference lines and create some reference points, whether you want to create the reference bands and give some custom values to make it look like a distribution band, or directly if you want to use the distribution band. I'll show you an example and it will be clear to you in which cases you can use this distribution band. Let's say I'm trying to see what is the profit that I'm getting in the different order dates. So let's double click on the order dates and then double click on the profit. And this would show me the order wise data in the date format, and it would also show me the profit that I'm getting in the consecutive years. Now let's try to convert it into the line graph. If I convert it into the line graph and let's say I'm trying to see what is the quarterly growth. So I'll just convert this quarterly data. Now, if I want to see the distribution of this particular graph, let's say I want to see what is the average values, say 40% of the average and 80% of the average. Or what is the minimum or maximum value? What is the specific distribution of the data points over here? So for that, what I can do is I can drag this distribution band and I can just put it on the top of table. After you put it on the top of table, it is showing you the distribution over here and it is being kept on the entire table. Right now, by default, it is giving you the values as 60 to 80% of the average values. So wherever our average of the data set is, the 60 to 80% of the average values lie over here. If you don't want to see 60 to 80% of average values and if you want to customize the values, what you can do is you can go in the value option. Over here, you have this option to choose the percentages, percentiles, quantiles. That is, we have these number of quantiles from whatever quantile range you want to choose. And also you can see the standard deviation. Right now, let's talk about the percentages. It is showing me by default the 60 to 80% of the percentages. But let's say I don't want to see this. I want to see the data in 60 to 70% range. So I can just edit this value, and instead of 60, 80, I can put 60, 70 over here, and it would calculate the values for me. After doing this, you see that the trend has now changed. This particular line graph has moved down. So over here, it is showing you the percent of profit which has been done, the aggregation on the basis of sum. So what I'll do is I just roll back again quickly where it was previous state. So after coming to the previous state, what I can do over here is let's roll back again. Yeah. So I was at the 60% of average to 80% of the average, and this is the portion where I want to work, because I have changed the values multiple times, so it was not able to adapt. So you will be facing these kind of values, and you will be looking at these kind of things happening, but you have to be sure that whatever analysis you are doing is correct. If you see the sudden change in the graph, make sure that everything is going fine, and it is not the value that is changing, it is just because of the visualization is not able to adapt that part. So I'll again click on this distribution band, and I'll click on edit. So if you click on edit, you can again refer that particular box. So we were talking about the 60 to 80% of the average. If I go in this particular drop down, I can change the values from over here. Let's say I want to see the 40 to 60% of the range of the profit. So what I can do is, instead of like 80, I can put 60 over here, and instead of 60, I can put 40 over here. And it will show me the 40 to 60% of the average value. This distribution band is quite helpful when you want to make a reference part out of any average values or any other kind of values. So here it is taking the average. You can do that thing on the sum, minimum and maximum values also. Let's say what is the distribution of the minimum value and the minimum value, since that value is at the 100%. Let's see what is the distribution of 90 to 100% of that values. So I'll click on 90 to 100% of the values, and it would show me the 90 to 100% of that values. I'm not going to keep it as minimum. I'll keep it at the maximum. So this is the maximum value range that is for our data set. If you see over here, this is the range of my 90 to 100% of the sum of total profit. So this is the 10% of that data set. If you want to again change the values, you can click on this distribution band, you can go in the edit option, and again you can choose any other aggregate function over here, and you can also choose the different parameters on the top of which this particular thing is happening. So right now I am only having one measure, that is the profit. That's why it is only showing the profit. You can change the percentages from over here. If you want to keep the percentile, quantiles and standard deviation, you can also choose that part. Now let's talk a bit about the formatting options. Right now this distribution band is showing me gray color. So if you want to change the color of this distribution band, you can choose a fill color from over here. Let's give this fill color a bit greenish part to show that it is doing the maximum amount of profit. Now, if you want to change the line type of these lines, whatever line types are at the top and the bottom of this distribution band, you can do that by going in the line option, and you can choosing a different line type from over here. You can also try to increase or decrease the thickness of this line, and this would make your data look better. Now I can easily identify my distribution band. So this was the one way in which you can try to create the distribution band, and you can try to edit it. If you want to do a bit more formatting, again you can click on it and go to the format option, and it would give you multiple other choices of formatting options. For example, if you want to change the text of the label, or if you want to change the alignment of this label, or in which format these numbers are showing, you can do this. If you want to change the shading, you can also do it with the help of this shading option. So these are some of the ways in which you can try to create distribution band, and you can do multiple formattings on the top of these distribution bands. I hope this session was clear to you. In the next session, we will be talking about the different map options that are present in Tableau. Thank you.